25 point for spinning kick to the head. Okay, 5점. Well, today we're going to do a 5장 for 품새. Referees, be with me. Let's go over lower part of the body today. Okay, 차렷. And starting with the 5-second 준비 with the 나란히 서기. 1 feet apart, 1 foot, right? 태고장, starting with the down blocking. So you're shifting weights, go straight into a 50-50 position and pivoting at the same time, right? So on 준비 position, you gotta get low. From standing, you gotta get low on the front stand, right? Forward stand. So you're gonna push your body forward stand, okay? And then after that, we have 왼서기 for the hammer strike. 왼서기, so when do you bring it back? If you bring it back, pivot and turn in, that's a minor point, okay? Wrong time, you pivot, finish, then you bring your foot in. Nope, that's not how you do it. Okay, so how do you do it? You gotta shift your body weight first in order to do same time. Pivoting in, the heels comes in, and then you bring your leg back, and then leaving a space 1 foot apart, facing 90 degrees. That's the stance for 왼서기. And you have to perform it at the same time. But at this time, when you're done here, you're gonna have to turn to the other side for down block. So some people do pivot, step. You know that's a minor point deduction. So how do we do it? The heel needs to go out, right? We cannot bring the toes forward. We're gonna shift our body slightly. So give a little weight here. And then you turn out, and then you're going to replace your foot. Okay, that's how you do it. From the left stance, 왼서기 to 앞구비. Okay, 왼서기 to 앞구비. And then you got to turn in. And then this is the same thing. You got to turn, come in at the same time. You got to come in at the same time. You cannot do pivot and place it, correct? So you got to look for those timing, catch those timing. Are they pre-pivoting and then they sliding back, or are they doing it at the same time? So you must do it at the same time, and then when you're done with the same time, now the heel is gonna go out, so you could go to front stand. But are you going to do it in different time? You're going to pivot first? Are you going to pivot first and then go? That's a minor again. So from 오른서기 hammer strike, you have to go what? At the same time when you're stepping forward down for 앞구비, then you got to pivot out, right? And then we have the double blocking. Then we have the kicking, right? Kicking. So when you have that kicking, what do? I did explain for 앞차기, the front kick. When you're doing kicking, you gotta pivot in 45 degrees. Pivot in and then place, right? Pivot in and place. So you're gonna pivot in and just place. Okay? If you over rotate, many of the competitors want to reach for high kick and then they turn all the way. They turn so much so they could do the vertical, right? High kick, and then when they place, they repivot. That's a minor. Come on. Okay, we got to give that minor. I've seen a lot of high level competitor from cadet and juniors doing that, okay? They turn so much and then they repivot, repositioning their foot in. I'll give that minor because they keep moving their heels, right? So after kick, then they place. They're gonna do the knuckle and middle, right? Okay, and then after the kick, then you place knuckle middle, and then you step forward, single knuckle, correct? So if we're focusing on this two kick, you have to make sure their heel is not wobbling or losing balance, right? In the middle here while they're kicking, make sure they're not losing balance as well. Okay, so if you're at number 8 for the single knife, now you're gonna have to turn 270 degrees, correct? So you're gonna shift over your left shoulder, and sit back, right? For single knife hand blocking, So, and also you gotta look double pivoting here. Many of the competitors make mistakes is here. They turn, stop, and then they finish. So they double pivoting here, as you can see. You gotta turn what? Smoothly, all the way through. Find the spot and then sit down all the way through. Okay? All the way through. From the back stand, getting into front stand. So you stay low. Okay? Getting into a front stand. Same thing here. Many people lift their heels up and then they push to turn. Well, lifting is a minor point again. Okay, give that minor deduction for lifting and then pushing to give a little momentum to turn. Okay, that's wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend our back knee. Turn in, and then balance on this side for the back stance, okay? So, same thing. Many people also double pivoting here. They turn, and then they finish. That's the double pivoting, so you gotta catch that double pivoting. And sometimes they open toes here, open toe, and then front stand, which is, that's also minor deduction, because you cannot have a pivoting with the heels. There's no open toe, okay? There's no open toe. You have to gather, and then you pivot it in. Okay, where's the gathering here? Here's the gathering here. So you have to gather here, and then finish, right? Same thing. Shifting body weight, if you use that, you have no problem turning, and then facing back. But if you're not using that, then you're going to go like this, pivot it at once, and then pivot it twice. Double pivoting, right? So referees, look at the back foot here at this time. When they're striking the elbow to the chin, then they're going to shift and pivot at once. Okay, and then they're going to kick. Make sure they pivot and then place for down block, middle block, instead of moving twice. So when they're doing this, right here, they're probably gonna kick, down block, middle block is the correct, but if they over rotate, then they're gonna go repivot and then middle block. So you gotta catch that minor points. Same thing right here. Many students turn, and then they do the high block to go to the left, from akubi to akubi. Okay, front stand to front stand. That one should just stay and pivot at last minute. It should pivot at last minute instead of turn and then position. That's double pivoting as well. Okay, so last minute. You got to sit down with the front leg and the back leg at the same time. Okay, and then high block. Now they do the motion, and then they place back. This one you have to turn it back. There's no deduction for this one. Why? Because for here, you side kick, and then you got to repivot to do the elbow strike, right? So you do not give that a deduction, but right here, common mistake is lifting heels up again and then turning for the next high block because it's a front stand to front stand. it's pretty long, okay? From going to the left to the right, it's pretty long. So they normally lift and give that momentum to push and turn in, which is not right. And you know that, okay? So we're gonna bend our back knee. We're gonna bend our back knee, spin around and turn it at once. Okay, please watch that foot at this section right here. Okay, same thing, and then repositioning, and to the end, right? We're already to the end. So when you're looking at to the end, if they don't bend their knee, they're gonna do pivot and pivot again. Simple. If they lose balance, they're gonna continue moving their heels twice, maybe three, I don't know. Okay? So if they keep the balance well, they're gonna turn it at once. But if they lose the balance, then they're gonna turn again. Okay? You gotta catch that back foot here. And then after, when you're down to the last minute, after the kick, you have to turn in, 꼬아서기, 찌찌기, right? 찌찌기. They have to stomp. They have to stomp. If they don't stomp, major deduction, right? Okay, got it. If they don't stomp, major deduction, and then kia, placing back. Okay, if they go kick and they just step and do their motion, they forgot the technique. There's chichiki. They're supposed to stomp before the 꼬아서기, right? Before the 꼬아서기, and then when they're done, they have to pivot at once. 바로. Remember, I told you gotta look until they 바로. So here, until they 바로. Right? Until they 바로. You gotta keep watching, because if you don't, they're gonna, if they have a wrong position here, let's say it's like this, they're gonna go 1, 2. So they replaced it again. It's gotta be a deduction there, right? If they replace again, there's no extra footstep there. You're done with the whole 풍선, then you have to pivot with the ball of the foot in order to come back to the regular 준비 서기, 나란히 서기. So if they have a wrong, misplaced their foot too much, then they cannot do the 준비 correctly, right? So you have to wait until they go 바로, show. Then double click, send the accuracy, then give the presentation score. Okay. So that's a good referees, good judging, right? You watch, complete. Then you have a time, you have a lot of time, right? Then do what you have to do. Yes? Okay, you give a more score for the better presentation athletes. You give a little less to the less students who perform poorly, right? So, okay, you have to remember, looking at those stands, pretty simple, easy, okay? But you have to know the form. You have to know 태국 오장 in order to judge better, judge well, okay? You have to know the form. You have to know what is the next move while you're looking at the two people at the same time, okay? Because they're moving so fast. And I know if you keep practice and try to get eagle eye, okay? You fly high, get eagle eye, right? So you have to look straight and then catch everything what you see in front of you, okay? So good luck, you guys. Referees, I'll see you next one on the upper body for Taeguek Jang. Yeah, can do, so can you.